is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I don't know why I always do that, but I do. Also, I look pregnant in this shirt. It's just weird. You can't really tell. Oh, you can see my bra. And the lighting outside, it's literally 4, it's about to be 5. It's 4:50. So I have no idea why it's like so dark outside already. I think it's gonna rain. Now it just got really yellow in here because I turned on the light up there. So I'm going to do just a sit down talk video. Today's video is just going to be about my life update and what it's been like living here now. I just moved to Virginia. I shouldn't even say that I just moved here because I didn't. I mean, I did, but I didn't. I moved here about 4 or 5 months ago. I'm originally from Indiana, and yeah, I grew up there. I lived there my whole life. I'm gonna take it back a little bit and tell you guys our whole process of moving and when we started to look for houses, all that stuff. So we started looking for a place to live. I started doing my research many months before we even started moving or packing or anything, just because I wanted to make sure price range and how the prices, like, you know, what the prices were and the cost of living and all that kind of stuff. So even though I still didn't know where we were gonna get stationed, I still wanted to know, you know, our possibilities, and I started looking around here and seeing prices. So that kind of gave me an idea of what like house price was, like rent or renting an apartment. I was kind of leaning more towards renting an apartment just because, I mean, come on, you don't have to do the yard work like I'm about to go do after I'm finished with this video. But then again, I kind of did want a house just because we have Max and I wanted him to be able to go outside and, you know, do his business without me having to just go through the whole thing of living in an apartment. I also realized that living in an apartment was almost the same price or sometimes even more than living at a house here. So you get more room with the house, you get your own privacy, you get your own backyard. We ended up looking more at houses. I started seeing prices, I started seeing the areas more. Honestly, for me, I thought that you had to like start looking for houses or places to live like 2 months prior to your move. Once I started my job here, I realized that there is so many people that look for houses 2 weeks before they even move. I didn't know that. That's a different story. Like Max, since he's a German Shepherd, he kept on being restricted from many different apartments. Not a lot of apartments would take Max or any other kind of like restricted breeds. So that's another problem that you might run into, is that not every single apartment takes dogs or pets or whatever you have. Like they just might not take them. So it is really hard to find an apartment or a nice apartment that will accept dogs. So that is why I finally ended up just deciding that, you know what, maybe a house is a better idea. So we ended up looking through houses. I found a few houses that I did like that were around our price points. I started emailing those people. I started, you know, getting in touch with all of them. And since I wasn't in Virginia at the time, I was in Indiana, Tristan had to go and look at the houses. He would FaceTime me and then I would, you know, we would decide like that. I was here in May and we still didn't even know we had gotten approved for this house. We were staying in hotels for about 4 days until they called us and they were like, hey, you've been approved. And I was like, cool, yay. It's a big process, especially if you've never done it before, or, you know, it was a fun experience. So it was a definitely good experience for the both of us. I guess something else that follows up after like moving here is looking for a job, especially if you're like a military wife. You're definitely hunting for a job and in hopes of finding a job. That way you can start to do something, because I was here for about a week doing absolutely nothing. There was a lot of things that were still in the process of getting done, and I didn't have many things to do here, especially because we didn't have Wi-Fi. I would have to go to Starbucks or something to get some Wi-Fi and be on my computer. That way I could make time pass by until Tristan got home. So I was definitely very lucky, and I'm so blessed that I was able to find a job so quick. Just coming into Virginia, I found a job super fast. It's a job that I really like. I love it, and I really love my boss. She's so sweet. She's the nicest person ever. So I was definitely very lucky. I work with the property manager, property manager that manages this house. There you go. When we went in there to sign our papers, to the office to sign our papers for this house, for the lease, she was looking for help and I was there without a job, so she offered me a job and we started talking. I went in there for an interview and it was all good, and I started working with her the following week. So it was definitely a very easy and smooth experience of getting a job here. It could take a while until you find a job. Also, it could not. I was thinking that it was gonna take a while and it didn't. So, you know, things like that can happen, and just be prepared for anything. And, you know, definitely before you move, you have to have an idea of what kind of job you want. You have to have an idea of where you're thinking to apply. I mean, everything can change, things can happen. I got here and it was totally a different experience than what I thought. My job and Tristan's job, it's not bad. It does feel like a normal job, kind of. He goes to work, I go to work, I come home, he comes home, we hang out. So it's like, it does feel like a normal job until he is deployed, and all that kind of stuff does change. Your life obviously does change. So yeah, and I think another thing that I was like a little bit nervous about of moving is that I didn't know anybody else. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any sort of nothing. Like, I knew nothing. Before all my visits of coming and seeing Tristan, Virginia never crossed my mind. So moving here and definitely not knowing anybody and having to start from zero, you know, it is a little bit tricky. I'm always home, so it's like it could be hard for me to make more friends and, you know, find more people. I met two of the girls that live here that I became friends with. I met them through, well, one of them I met them through my husband and her husband. They introduced us to each other, and then we started talking, and, you know, we started hanging out. We ended up going to like a, you know, like a family readiness or like a wife readiness kind of thing here for classes for like military wives, and we ended up meeting another girl. So, you know, there's different ways to meet people. Also, like, if you have a job or you get a job wherever you move, you can definitely meet a lot of people that way. I work with one person, so it's kind of hard to meet others. And another one is that if you go to school, like my friend that lives here, she goes to school, so you can definitely meet a lot of people that way. I think that's like one of the biggest ways that you can meet people. And also, like, what's it called? Like, we have Facebook pages for wives and stuff like that. You can always meet wives that way too. So it's not impossible to meet people. It can just be tricky. One of the other things that I was a little bit worried about is how I was going to react to the whole thing of moving here and not having any family, and of course not having none of my friends anymore and that kind of stuff. I do miss all of my friends, and I do of course miss my family and like my sister, my brother, my mom, and my dad, but it's doable. I feel like I'm a very independent person, and even though when I was at home, like, I still kind of kept to myself. I mean, I still miss my family, and I do wish I could see them every single week like I used to, but things are not like that anymore. It gets hard if you think too much about it. That's when it really does get hard. I try not to think about it as much, and sometimes like my family might even question why I don't call them as much. Well, and that is just because if I do, then I just miss them more. I think the reason why it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, it was just because I had already prepared myself for this. I kind of already knew that this stuff was gonna happen, and I think that's something that really helped me. I watched a ton of videos, I did my research, spoke to others, so I did the most that I could. I did the most research I could, and I definitely took advantage of the time that I had. Once you get used to it, once you get yourself into a routine, it's not as bad as, it's not as tough, and it's not as difficult as, you know, you thought it would be. Like, a few of the things that I do here, and a lot of people ask me, it's like, what do you do there alone? Like, how could you live alone? What do you do? How do you keep yourself motivated? How do you keep yourself happy? And as bad as it sounds, and it's like, oh my god, you do that every single day. I do. I come home from work every single day. I chill on this bed and watch a few videos, or, you know, hang out on my phone, watch some TV and hang out on my computer, and literally that is it. It's just whatever you're into. I'm into watching TV and chilling at the house and doing absolutely nothing, so it doesn't really bother me not having a very busy life and still being alone most of the time. So it's not bad. I mean, one day I'll probably get sick and tired of it, but right now I'm good and I'm happy, so it's okay. That's it. And that was a really long talk. I talk a lot. I think I really like to talk. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna cut it right there. Just stop right there. Who is texting me? So yeah, that was a little bit of what my life has been like and what I've been doing and what my process was kind of like, and the whole moving thing, and the whole, you know, new life thing. I think that is all that I'm going to talk about today. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you didn't, don't tell me. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.